Good morning. Here is today's word of blessings for you. Nehemiah 5:14-16. Moreover, from the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah, until his 32nd year, 12 years, neither I nor my brothers ate the food allotted to the governor. But the earlier governors, those preceding me, placed a heavy burden on the people and took 40 shekels of silver from them in addition to food and wine. Their assistants also lorded it over the people. But out of reverence for God I did not act like that. Instead, I devoted myself to the work on this wall. All my men were assembled there for the work. We did not acquire any land. Today's title is Lead by Example. Leaders are precious to the community. Their decision makes a huge difference in the lives of many people. So we value them very highly. We want to compensate for those precious leaders accordingly. That's why the leaders are generally paid well. Some of the major business leaders are paid a huge amount of money that ordinary people can't even imagine. Political leaders may not be paid as much as business leaders. Still, we want to provide leaders with enough means of life that they could devote to their role of leaders without getting distracted by a lack of livelihoods such as food and houses. Leaders may well take such provisions depending on their needs. But leaders must take into careful consideration of the people that he serves in taking and using such resources and provisions available to them. True leaders would not indulge in the luxury of life when their people are suffering from poverty and destitution even though it was granted to them. Nehemiah was such a leader who didn't take such privilege or luxury that was granted to him who was a governor. He says, "From the 20th year of King Artaxerxes, when I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah, until his 32nd year, 12 years, neither I nor my brothers ate the food allotted to the governor." Nehemiah was very different from his predecessors who placed a heavy burden on the people and took 40 shekels of silver from them in addition to food and wine. Their assistants also lorded it over the people. What made Nehemiah act so differently from his predecessors? He says that it was out of reverence for God. Nehemiah knew the mind of God. God has great compassion for those who are lacking in basic livelihood. He identifies himself with the people in need and graciously provides for them. We saw it in the lives of the Lord. He took great compassion on the physical as well as spiritual hunger and thirst of the people. Jesus himself underwent hunger and thirst of the people rather than filling his own needs first. This is the mind of God. This is the spirit of incarnation. Nehemiah, the faithful servant of God, knew this. He decided to live in God's way. He took great comfort and confidence in such a way of life. He boldly asks for God's blessings based on his commitment to such a humble and restrained way of life. I am sure that God answered Nehemiah's prayer, for God knew the mind of Nehemiah who solely acted out of reverence of God. How much did God provide for you? How are you using what God has granted to you? Are you doing it out of reverence for God? Then you can also boldly ask for more grace from God. He will surely supply all your needs.